Welcome to my online clip on learning how to knit. Today I will be using my new Easy Purler knitting needles. They have a specialized tip to help you keep the wool on the needles. And if you've missed anything today in this lesson, there's also an Easy Purlers knitting guide which I've created. Both of these things you can get on my website, which I'll give you at the end. To learn how to knit, you need 2 knitting needles, you need a ball of wool and, well, scissors or shears. They're just easier to use. So the first thing I'm going to show you is how to make a slip knot. So if you take your ball of wool and just unwind it a bit, and you just wrap it around your finger like so, and then wrap it round again and thread the loop up through the loop that's on your finger. Now take your 2 fingers out and put your knitting needle in that top loop. Now if you just pull the wool like so, it'll make a slip knot. And you know it's a slip knot because if it's too tight, you just loosen it. Too loose, you just tighten it. We don't want it too tight, and the reason for that is because the Easy Purlers knitting needle tip is a little bit larger than your normal tip, and you want to be able to get your needle into the loop. Now before we start knitting, we have to get stitches onto the needle. I'm going to show you the easiest way to get stitches onto your needle. Here we are with the slip knot on your needle, held in your left hand. I'm going to show you how to cast on, say, 15 stitches. You will be shown probably numerous ways of how to cast on stitches, but I find that the way I'm going to show you is the easiest way for beginners. Now, the first thing I would do is hold the tail, just so that you can keep it out of the way more than anything. With your right hand, grab the wool and basically just wrap your first finger around the wool and place the loop on the needle, and there's your second stitch. That's simple. Around, place the loop on. Third stitch. Around, place the loop on the fourth stitch, and just keep doing this till you have 15 stitches on your needle. Let's have a count here. I'll do one more. Now, the best way to count your stitches on your needles, 2 at a time if you can. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there you have it. You've got 15 stitches on your needles now. It's that simple. Now you're ready to knit your first row. So picking up your second needle with your right hand, we're going to place it inside the first loop or your first stitch. Now notice with this finger here, I'm sort of holding it at the back a bit just to stop it from slipping forward. Now, so you have your right hand free, you can actually hold, so I have this hand free, hold both knitting needles with the one hand. So while I pick up the wool, so I've got the wool, and I'm going to wrap it round the right hand needle and pull it through. So, and take your first stitch off the left hand needle. So now you have 14 stitches on this left hand needle and 1 stitch on your right hand needle, and you'll do the same with the next stitch. Place your right hand needle in, wrap the wool around that needle and pull the wool through and take the stitch off the left hand needle, and again around. So now you've got 3 stitches on here and you probably have 12 on here. So you just keep going. This is probably the hardest step, the first row, because it just looks messy and loopy and you probably think, oh, that's not how knitting looks. But after you've knitted several rows, you will see a pattern starting to form. Here we go, almost done. Put that one in, and the last stitch, which was the slip knot. And there we go. So when you turn it all round, that's your first. Now it's a good idea now to count your stitches to make sure you've still got 15 on the needle. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. So that's your first row. So basically now you just swap this needle over to your left hand and you start again, and you do exactly the same again. You put your right hand needle in the first stitch, you wrap the wool around and pull the wool through and take it off the needle. Again. So we're now knitting our second row. So you can see it's pretty straightforward, and this is the tail that keeps twisting round. There we go, it's gone now. And you might need to push these stitches up a bit. Wrap your wool round, pull it through, take it off. Through, take it off. So we're getting there now, and it's getting easier to see and control really the wool on your needles. So this is the second row we've done, and this is a basic knit stitch, and there you have it, your second row. Now it looks a bit messy there, but if we just fix it up, there they all are there. They're all back in there. So what I might do is knit a few rows now so you can see the pattern forming. And at the end of that I'll show you how to cast off. Now I've just knitted approximately 14 rows, and as you can see it's made the same pattern as if it would make with ordinary needles. It's the same on the other side as well. As you can see, because it's stretchy, show you how to cast off. Just for beginners. So what we're going to do is knit the first 2 stitches, as you would normally. So into the first stitch, you wrap the wool around, pull it through and take it off the left needle and knit the second stitch, take it off. Now normally you would grab your left hand needle and slip it under the first stitch and take it over the top of the second stitch, but with these needles it's a lot easier just to pick it up with your first finger and your thumb and take it over the top. So you just knit another stitch, you pick it up, pick the first stitch up and take it over the top. Another stitch. You'll notice now with the Easy Purlers, because there's a ridge there, it'll stop the first stitch from falling off the needle, which is really handy when you're learning to knit. So it's just one less worry you have to worry about. So you just keep going along till you have all the stitches off the needle, and you'll see that it's making a nice, almost like a plaited pattern. It's actually taking the sample off. And you do this till you have one stitch left on the needle. Okay, here we go, it's the last stitch. Take it over the top. Okay, so you've got one stitch, and the samples basically come off the... So I normally just pull the wool long, and with my scissors I just cut that loop like that, and you can pull the string out, the wool out, and just tighten the tail, and there you have it, your sample, learning to knit and stitch. They're the basic steps of knitting. Once you have these down pat, you will be able to pick up any other fancy stitch that patterns offer. You'll be well and truly on your way to learning how to knit. If you've missed anything today on my video regarding learning how to knit, I have also created an Easy Purlers knitting guide. It has all the steps inside and lots of tips. If you're interested in the Easy Purlers knitting needles, they can both be purchased online at my website www.easypurlers.com. I wish you all the best with your knitting. If you have any questions you'd like to ask me, please send me a line. And I'd just like to thank you very much for watching me today.